all about Karan. I mean, I feel like I know him so much better. What have you been with us for a year now? And it has been such an experience finding out where he's from. And he's from this little teeny tiny little city called Bhandari, which is in the southeastern part of India. It's only 8.5 million people. Now imagine a little bitty city. It is the IT capital. It is. What is it? Let me see. It is. The city is in the top 10 preferred entrepreneurial cities in the world. It has a nickname of the Silicon Valley of India. So I'm going, this makes total sense. These people were nothing but IT-driven people. And now we understand your mind. I told Karan, I think it was Christmas, he was sitting beside me, I said, I'd like to open up your brain, I'd like to walk through the caverns and just sit for a while. Because I've never known anyone whose mind is just as so in depth as it is. And then, so I began looking at the culture of India. Well, I grew up being in love with the Taj Mahal. The beauty, the elegance, and the love that went into this one structure. I mean, it was just so incredible. So I fell in love with India about when I was in third grade. And then reading about all the festivals and the ceremonies and pomp and circumstance and color and just everything's full of life. I said, I can see this. And then I became totally enthralled with the whole engagement, wedding, because it is very sophisticated ceremonies. Not just a ceremony like what we do. This goes on and on. And the first step is the engagement ceremony. So what I'd like to do is get Karan to tell us about his experience of how he became engaged. And we have pictures of this, and I'm just loving it. So tell us about how you met your beautiful bride-to-be.
My bride, Avnika, I'm very honored to be associated with her. She is running her own industry called The Binge that makes chocolates, confectionaries, and she runs it from her own home. Now, it so happened that she had received multiple profiles. She had put herself on the internet to find the right match. And it so happened that one of our family friends was aware of her existence and she introduced me to her. It was an arranged marriage. And then we decided to have a phone conversation. And I think we fell in love on the phone. Maybe after the 10th to 15th conversation, she wanted to assess what kind of a person I am, and then, we got connected with Facebook, LinkedIn, and we found an instant connect as if we knew each other for a very long time. And even before we met each other, we decided we would get married to each other. Of course, then when I went to India, we then had a formal ceremony where you're supposed to accept the bride and the bridegroom, and both of us just accepted it. I mean, they gave us 2 hours to walk and talk to each other and then think about it, or maybe take some more time. But then within a minute or two, we decided to just
a minute or two.
Yeah.
Well, explain to us the gifts. We have pictures on the table. And explain to us the gifts that were they the saris?
So we had the ceremony in the Hotel Chancery. And they were about a turnout of 250 people. This was by the poolside. So I think our wedding will be also in the poolside, but we will be getting married in an island. And there will be the pool separating the audience and us. And in the middle of the island, we will be getting married. So the marriage is not just a one-day function. It will be for 4 days. And we are supposed to take the procession to the wedding. So the prince goes and meets the princess on the horse. I'll be on the chariot. There'll be an army with me, and the army will be having a band. This band is accompanied by a huge procession. Like on the front and back are the dancers. Firecrackers are in the back down. That's just the procession. And then before that, people then prepare. They have the mehndi ceremony where people put various artifacts on the hand. They paint the hand with mehndi. I think if you see her arms in most of the images, it has a kind of a pattern. Most of women do that, and then prior to that, what happens is the girl's side and the man's side, they invite the relatives. So there's a gift exchange ceremony, and generally that involves money, gold. They exchange artifacts, shaving cream, and then books, and then devices, and a lot of artifacts are exchanged between the parties. That's called the Maira. The engagement ceremony also has a section called the Maira, where you have something called as the 25 elements. So you have those elements arranged around, and you then put the tilak on the forehead, which is a mixture of some red pigment and kesar. Then a lot of then some 5 metals are used. We have to touch each metal, and then they confer blessings on us. Of course, the cake cutting ceremony was there. It's a very complex process. Then there is a.
That's what you explain it because I love it.
Then there is a ceremony where both the sides orchestrate a dance ceremony. Like we prepare dances, and for 3 hours both the parties dance in various numbers, and they actually explain the love story via the dance. So they pick up various songs and they explain various phases of life where you meet her, then you have the courtship period. So they explain that via dance. That is one day, and then the next day the guests are entertained. They have professional dancers coming around. Then they have various games orchestrated, like passing the pillow, musical chairs.
Yeah, what is passing the pillow?
It's like spinning bottle.
In passing the pillow, what happens is the music is played as soon as, and you keep passing the pillow, and as soon as the music stops.
Chairs.
Yeah, there's musical chairs too.
But this is different from this.
Yes, and then there is a sports ceremony between the husband and the wife, where both of us compete. Like they drop the ring in the water, we're supposed to get into it, whoever finds first will be the winner. And I think it's said that whoever finds the ring first will be the most dominant member in the family. Amongst the husband and the wife.
Did she find the ring first?
That's a ceremony. That's the wedding ceremony.
Okay, so men wear rings.
Talk to us about the engagement ring.
Completely adorned. They have this here. They have so many chains, and they have like a shield. If you shoot a bullet through her, nothing will happen to her. Then she'll have a lot of heavy big earrings, nose rings, like bangles up to here. Heavily decorated. Indian watches a lot of gold. Yes. What happened was the ring exchange ceremony was on a plate, and that plate was lined with Ferrero Rocher chocolates, and there was a ring case on either side. But before that, we put the shawl around it, we put garlands around, and then during the wedding there'll be a pedestal which will electronically go up and lift both of us up. I think there'll be a chopper that will be carrying our name, and it will go past our ceremony. I think all of you must come to the wedding. It will be
I think that we should, after seeing the city, the pictures of the city, we would have a blast. And then knowing it's 4 days of celebration. Oh my
Everybody
goodness.
to stay with you, right, Karan?
our
We all get to
accommodation.
stay with you, right?
Yeah, accommodation is taken care of. And if you like, you have to take care of it. Yes. Accommodation is taken care of. Food is taken care of. You get to experience 15 different cuisines from all over the world. I mean, 15 different types of cuisines, not just cuisine. 15 different types, and this will be for 4 days continuous.
Wow. So who pays for the wedding?
It's both the parties contribute. And generally, we end up sharing the entire lifetime for this wedding ceremony. And the process is so involved that there's no backing out after such a huge process. Yeah. So generally, there tends to be no divorce in Indian wedding. I think the divorce percentage is 2 or 3% because then there is a process where you light up the fire. You put various artifacts into it and then you chant religious hymns. And then we have to take 7 revolutions of the fire, and we have to accomplish 7 different promises. And so during when we take revolutions around fire, both of us will be tied to each other via a garment. And then there will be a priest that will be going through the entire procession.
One thing I know about Indian people is the fact that the loyalty and the honor is so rich that it is beautiful to see how you honor people, and it's like you're always wanting to please, and I feel like that's very indicative of the culture is honoring and how can I do better, how can I please you, and when you're working in an environment like that in a marriage, I mean that's key, is totally the honor.
Yes.
I heard it one time, it was when you walk in and you go, you give a aha moment, it lifts someone up so beautifully, and I can see you doing that. So we celebrate you. We celebrate with you for a wonderful world. That is awesome. Well, what I'd like to do right now is bring our first roaster. And our first roaster of the evening is Bhandari Frank Grammer.
Before I get started, we've got somebody here now. Maybe go ahead and take orders or whatnot. I don't know how long everything takes because we're already about half hour into fellow Toastmasters, and certainly our most honored member this evening, Karan, who's running off. He's Toastmasters, and our most honored member, Karan. Karan, we have known each other a little over a year and a half now, and he has certainly given us all a lot of memories, and I have my own too. And when I was preparing for this, I was thinking, Karan's given me so much to share, and there's stuff I could talk about with Karan forever, but I really wanted to focus on those things that I think we all can relate to and will give us the greatest memories of Karan. Now, everyone in Toastmasters is a very dedicated person. I mean, why would you join an organization like this if you are not going to give it the best, right? But I am blown away that someone would ride a bicycle through Charlotte traffic to get to a Toastmasters meeting. I'm scared to death to drive my Tahoe through that traffic. And Karan goes from uptown to Valentine on a bicycle. I know sometimes you get on the bus and take that part of the way, but you told me you've made trips almost the entire way on your bicycle trying to make meetings. I think you told me that one time that the bus wasn't coming, so I just got on my bike.
I mean, that's just once, and I did with the motor on it.
Okay, well, that was one of my favorite things.
How many horsepower on that motor?
Just 50 cc.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that was one of my funny things.
Half horsepower.
A little tiny motor about the size of a water bottle. And I'm looking at that thing, and I'm an engineer, and does that really help?
I've seen they can get up some speed on it.
Absolutely. Which is my segue into one of my favorite characteristics of Karan. I am a geek. But by today's standards, I don't even think I even fit into the geek category. It was horrible growing up being into the geek category when it wasn't cool. Now when it's the thing, I don't fit in anymore. But to talk with Karan, all of his ideas, and see his presentations around all these fascinating subjects. Karan, and my greatest compliments, you put the chic in geek. You take really complicated subjects and make all of us go, whoa, and make it really interesting and how it comes into our lives. How it's going to benefit us. And you break it down and make it so simple. I really appreciate that. You have a true talent And I know this young lady that you are wedding, she's going to have a fabulous husband because you have a heart. You care about people. It shows in your eyes. It shows I've never not seen you smiling. And you're just a wonderful person. I am very proud after to have known you. And I do hope you bring your bride back to become part of our Charlotte community and see you again. Thank you.
Somebody had a crash, you say, how's their bicycle? You know, you're a cycling addict. If you live in a big city and you would choose to buy a bicycle over a car, you know you're a bicycle addict if you can empathize with road rash or roadkill. I don't know how much y'all know about this young man. As Frank said, he rides a bicycle. But I want to tell you, that motor, he built that motor. And he put it on, not a motor bike, he put it on a bicycle. He has gone through, I don't know how many tires, because it goes faster than bicycle tires are supposed to go. So, I don't know if he's just lazy or if he really wants to empathize with roadkill. Okay, but there have been times that he's tried to get to our club meetings and hasn't been able to. So I remember the first time I went to get him. Some of the older people that have been here last Christmas and that time period are shaking their heads. Okay, let me describe to you the night. Freezing rain before Christmas downtown. I'm a country girl. I don't expect to see more than 5 or 6 cars on the road. Downtown Charlotte, freezing rain, and I have the wrong address. Oh, wait a minute. And my husband's phone is on mute. And I don't have Karan's telephone number. So, after going around the wrong block over and over and over, in tears, because I know he's standing out in the pouring rain waiting for me because I am a woman and I told him I'd be there. Finally get to David, who gets to Karan, who gets to me, we get it, and we get to the meeting. Since that time, we actually had some success of me picking him up. However, the last time, we did not. Because I said I would be there, but then I left my phone at home, and I was late, and he called, so we took the bus, but my phone was at home, and he called me, and he called me, and he called me, but I wasn't there, and I waited. Karan, this is for you. This story is for you because the woman is always right. And as you go into your new life, and I'm going to read some of this because this is important. This is really important to your longevity. The woman is always right. Yes, women? Yes? Okay. These are my words of wisdom for your married future. The woman is always right. She will always be right. Your job with Avnika, I hope I don't pronounce her name, but Avnika, as Avnika's husband, will be to love her, to honor her, to protect her, to respect her, to bring her a hot cup of coffee every morning in bed. Yes? Okay. Well, I get it every morning in bed. So you should do that for her. And always remember, no matter what she says, she's always right. May your lives together be wonderful, full of joy, full of happiness. And I'm sure they will be as long as you remember, ladies, the woman is always right. Come on.
But you notice I moved around the order. We decided to do the 2 rows first, and then we were ready for the Toastmaster. True Toastmaster this evening. It is for me, David, not again.
Nope. Just put it right here. Works out nicely. So, Karan, tonight we've gathered to celebrate your engagement to Avnika. I wish you both the happiness of the ages throughout this gift that life is. Your wedding will mark a transition from the student phase of your life to the family phase of your life. And since you're still in the student phase and open to some learning, I thought I would pass you on some lessons that I've had some challenges learning throughout my life. So hopefully you can learn from the things that I can do better at. So first, adventure together. Life will be enhanced to its fullest by you adventuring together. Value one another by listening to each other attentively. Nurture, respect, and support one another through good times and bad. Include one another in your interests, but give each other time to venture out onto your own. Kind. Be kind to each other, especially again when times are tough. Always remember that what keeps Avnika happy will keep you happy. So my fellow Toastmasters, drink with me, wishing Karan and Avnika a wonderful life together. Here's to Karan and Avnika.
Cheers. How do you say cheers in your language? Is it Hindi?
Hindi, yeah.
Okay. So how do you say cheers? Woo?
Yeah.
So Karan,
Oh, thank you so much.
Sorry. You may not have caught what.
here.
Well, you can look at that.
Thank you.
This is my notes. Open that and take a look. You'll understand.
Okay, so you open it. Okay. Hold on. I'm too far.
How beautiful!
Oh, how nice. I love it. Very nice. Karan?
That's non-vegetarian.
That's non-vegetarian.
Right.
Vegetarian ones are fried. They're like fruit.
Are these vegetarian?
What are these?
These are non-vegetarian sprouts.
Should I shut down the video?
If you want to.
Or do you want me to record people eating?
Huh?